Hi, my name is Bas and let's get to painting.
And today we're gonna be painting this X from Putrid Blight King's set from Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And we're gonna be using this set of paints. It's Charred Brown from Game Color Vallejo, Citadel Mournfang Brown, and Skrag Brown from Citadel. If you don't have Charred Brown from Vallejo, just use Rhinox Hide from Citadel or any dark brown you got. You also need a neutral silver paint. I'll be using Vallejo Model Air Gunmetal, but Citadel Leadbelcher or any other neutral silver will work just as well. Additionally, a brighter silver paint is needed for this tutorial. I will be using Ciradel Stormhost Silver. However, any bright silver available can be used instead. Let's begin with Charred Brown. Just give your model a fine coat of this dark brown paint. Here you can see our dark brown paint is totally cured. For the next step, we will need a Mournfang brown. Give the paint a good shake and place some on your palette. Then thin the paint with 2 to 3 drops of water until it reaches a consistency like this. After that, apply the paint using a dabbing motion. The goal is to create random, uneven patches of paint across the entire surface. And don't forget to wipe out on your paper towel the excess of paint before this step. After the paint is totally cured, let's move on to the next paint, which is Skrag Brown. The process is pretty much the same. Thin the paint with 2 to 3 parts water, wipe off excess on the paper towel, but this time we want to be more precise. We want to place the paint in the middle of previous layer. For this step I'll be using an old thin brush, as it can handle the tapping motion and helps add extra randomness to the paint application. As you see, I'm trying to apply my Skrag Brown into the middle of the previous layer. So we got our X almost ready, and my bad, I completely forgot about Deathclaw Brown. We need a bright rusty brown paint to enhance the highlights of the previous layer. The idea is the same as before. Just focus your tapping in the center of the previous color and make sure your paint is well diluted. If you want your rust to really pop, mix a touch of white into the Deathclaw Brown and repeat the same process, but to keep the pace up, we will move forward. Now let's bring in our dry brushes and metallics, and well, dry brush our metallics over the previous layers. Just be careful not to ruin the work we already done. Make sure to wipe off the excess paint really well. As you can see, I'm trying to capture the edges and ridges of our axe over here. Now, repeating the same technique as before, we are using our brighter silver. Make sure to wipe off the most excess paint at this stage. As you can see on my hand, there is still a lot of silver on the brush, so I keep wiping it away, and once the brush is almost dry, I use very gentle motions to catch only the brightest parts of the detail. And that's it, you have your rusty weapon, but we will take one more extra step to enhance the looks of the weapon, which is totally optional and you can skip it if you want it. For this step, I will use a Citadel technical paint which is called Nihilakh Oxide. I hope I call it right. Shake it very well because it tends to split. Mix in 3 to 4 drops of water to thin the paint, like you see here on my thumb, and glaze it onto the areas that would oxidize more. These are usually the parts most exposed to the moisture, or anywhere you think it would look cool. If you're not comfortable with glazing, you can instead repeat the earlier rust technique, using light tapping motions to apply Nihilakh Oxide. Repeat this step a couple of times to enhance the oxidizing effect on your weapon. For me, it usually takes 3 to 5 layers, with each pass focused more toward the center of the previous one. And that's it, your rusty weapon is done. I find this approach quite pleasant and efficient, especially when you are painting more than 5 miniatures. I've painted the rest of the axe out of camera, and frankly speaking, it took me more time than to paint the head of the axe.
And that's it, all said and done. If you find this video useful, give it a like, share, and most important, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you at the desk.